All right, so I'm gonna play a clip for you, and I want you to guess what the correct phrasal verb would be. You know phrasal verbs, right? Like catch up, or carry on, or run out, for example. So if you're ready, let's give it a go. Ethan exercises 3 times a week. Ethan works out 3 times a week. Did you get it? Awesome! So let's keep testing your knowledge of phrasal verbs. Before we get started, we have a special gift for you. It's this PDF that has all the phrasal verbs we're going to cover today with examples and definitions. It's a really great reference for you to continue mastering everything that we're going to learn in today's lesson. So you can download that by clicking up here or down in the description below. So in this test, you're going to answer 3 quiz types. Some of them are going to be more difficult than others. And be sure to take note of your score because at the end, we're going to let you know more or less what your level in phrasal verbs is. All right, are you ready? Let's do this. Okay, so the first type of quiz. Replace the underlined words with a phrasal verb from option A, B, or C. Aside from English, I can speak 2 other languages, Spanish and French. I'm not super fluent in French, but I can survive. I'm not super fluent in French, but I can get by. One time, I remember I was in Spanish class and the teacher told us to create a story in only 2 minutes. Then, we would have to share the story in front of the entire class. And the teacher told us to come up with a story in only 2 minutes. By the way, if you want to be able to speak English fluently and confidently, then be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell down below because we help you to do it every single week. Now, let's keep going. Thank you for your response. I will investigate this and get back to you. I will look into this and get back to you. I was really missing a hobby, so I decided to start guitar lessons. I was really missing a hobby, so I decided to take up guitar lessons. Many successful CEOs left college before graduating. Many successful CEOs dropped out of college before graduating. On Wednesdays, I like to finish my day earlier. On Wednesdays, I like to wrap up my day earlier. When we got to the restaurant, all the tables were full. We had to wait for 30 minutes, but in the end, we got a table. We had to wait for 30 minutes, but we ended up getting a table. Hey, if you made only 1 or 2 mistakes here, that is fantastic. It means that your knowledge of phrasal verbs is already at an intermediate level. So that's at least B1 or B2. Hey, and if you're like me in your language learning, then maybe you feel like sometimes you learn a brand new word, but then the next day you're trying to remember it and it's already completely gone. So what I found works best for me to remember new words is to use them as soon as I learn them or as soon as possible after learning them. And a lot of English learners have told me, that's great, but I have no one that I speak English with. And that's exactly why we created the Real Life app. Now, the Real Life app is the only place where anytime, anywhere that you have an internet connection, you can simply press a button and instantly be connected to another English speaker in a different part of the world for a fun, dynamic, and eye-opening conversation with someone from a different culture than yours. So if you haven't downloaded the Real Life English app yet, I would challenge you to go do that and then try to have a conversation with someone and use at least one of the phrasal verbs that we've used so far. You can download it for free in your favorite app store, or just click up here or down the description below now. All right, so let's change things up a bit. Next, you'll watch some clips from real videos before answering the quiz questions.
In fact, you may not even recognize that perfectionism is what's behind your actions. For example, you might find yourself procrastinating. Do you writing a paper until the last minute? You might find yourself procrastinating. Do you put off writing a paper until the last minute?
But I think that it's fair to recognize that there is this kind of basic sort of instinct to people who are somewhat like you. Sort of instinct to hang out with people who are somewhat like you.
I have to be mature enough to two sisters and be able to help my mum. I have to be mature enough to look after my two sisters and be able to help my mum.
It's never too late. What it is that you want. It's never too late to find out what it is that you want.
As the issuer of the currency, the federal government can never money. The federal government can never run out of money.
How would that extend to advice? Like if someone's making a lifestyle choice between, say, a stressful job and a non-stressful job, does it matter that which way they go, that it's equally wise the stressful job, so long as you believe that you can handle it in some sense? It's equally wise to go for the stressful job, so long as you believe that you can handle it in some sense.
Hey, if you made only 1 or 2 mistakes here, congratulations. That means that your knowledge of phrasal verbs is already at an upper intermediate or even advanced level, which is from B2 to C1. All right, now next up, I'm going to read some sentences to you, and each sentence has a phrasal verb. Now what you need to do is you'll have 3 options, and you need to choose the one that has the definition that you think best fits that phrasal verb. Are you ready? So many people were laid off during the pandemic. Lay off means to start a business, to be fired from your job, to get a pay cut. So right, it's really similar to being fired from your job, but there is a slight difference here. Usually lay off is used when we're talking about it being for economic reasons. So you wouldn't use this if someone is just negligent in their job. So that means that they did something that was incompetent, or they just don't really perform at the level that they were hired to do. In that case, you would probably use fired. But you'd use lay off if there's an economic downturn and say a company lays off hundreds or thousands of its employees all at once because it can't afford to pay them. You know, it's really rainy today. Are you up for watching a movie? So to be up for means to want to do something, to think about doing something, or to refuse to do something. If you slouch in your chair during an interview, you can come across as unprofessional. So in this context, to come across means to find something by chance, to give off a certain impression, or to give something away. So this is a really great phrasal verb for you to add to your arsenal. Now, we use this one usually to describe people, so you wouldn't use it very often to describe a book or a movie that you watched. Rather, maybe if you met someone new, you could say, he came across a bit arrogant to me. After so many years, I'm glad that they were able to patch things up. So to patch up in this context means to meet again after a long time, to call someone unexpectedly, to fix the problems in a relationship. This is another really great one. So maybe if you have a fight with your partner and then afterwards you realize maybe you were in the wrong, you might apologize to them so you can patch things up. Or you might try to have a conversation so you can figure out what the real problem is and patch things up. Or maybe you've had a falling out with someone, which basically means that something happened that really hurt your relationship and maybe for a long time you're not talking anymore. So if you had a falling out, then maybe later you decide that that relationship is really important to you and you try to rebuild that relationship. You want to patch things up. His doctor told him that he needs to cut down on sugar. So to cut down on something means to eliminate it, to reduce it, to increase it. So you might find this one really useful. Make sure you don't confuse it with another very similar phrasal verb, which is cut out. Maybe your doctor says that you are diabetic. You came across diabetic, that'd be some really bad news. And you need to cut out sugar. That means you can't have sugar at all anymore. So cut out means that you can't do it at all, and cut down just means that you need to reduce it. So they spent a long time arguing about what movie to watch. But then she decided to give in and watch the movie that he wanted. So to give in means to surrender, to agree to what someone wants, to give up. Now, to give in is a nice phrasal verb to use in many different contexts. If you have kids or maybe you have young people in your family, I'm sure that at some point you have given in to their wishes. Maybe you have a child that was asking you over and over and over again for something and you decided finally to give in and to give it to them or to buy it for them. Now, you probably also know the phrasal verb to give up, but this would be quite different. Don't confuse these two, because to give up means that you're not going to try to do something anymore. And finally, everybody says that she takes after her mother, but I think she takes after her father. So take after in this context means to look alike, to resemble, to be similar to someone. But we can also use this for things that have nothing to do with genetics. And it could be something like that you take after your father because you're studying law, so you become a lawyer, or you're studying medicine, so you become a doctor, just like your mom. Hey, if you have gotten this far and you've made only 1 or 2 mistakes, that is amazing, incredible. You are a cosmic phrasal verbs hero, and you're ready to go out there and save the galaxy. Well, maybe not quite that far, but it does mean that you have an advanced level when it comes to using phrasal verbs. You're probably going to feel very confident and natural in your speaking, and you probably have around a C1 or maybe even a C2 level. The next thing you might want to do is study idioms more. So maybe you would like to do a test like this, but for idioms. Why don't you let us know down in the comments below if you want us to make a test like that for you. All right, I really hope that you enjoyed today's test. We worked really hard to make something special, fun, and accurate for you. But remember, of course, that if you really want to know what level of English you have, it's very important that you actually take a proper test that covers not only something like phrasal verbs and vocabulary, but also things like speaking, writing, listening, and grammar. And to keep testing your English, why don't you check out this video next? Hey, is your English intermediate? Advanced? Let's find out today with a fun test with the Real Life English podcast. So grab a notebook or a piece of paper and let's get started. So in this episode, Kase and Izzy are discussing how to implement good habits in your life. For this first part, you will listen to